About 1,000 years ago, some nasty creatures from a dark abyss crawled into our world. Right around that same time, though, mysterious glowing stones started popping up, giving humanity a fighting chance. These stones granted people incredible powers, allowing them to finally push back against the bizarre monsters that had overrun their lands. After a whole lot of grinding and leveling up, humans managed to shove the creatures back into that dark abyss and finally reclaim their territory. Ever since the nation's capital was established around a cluster of 9 of these special stones. Every year they hold an awakening ceremony to pick new protectors from the ranks of high school students. At the 53rd Annual Awakening Ceremony in Lynn City's Stone Sector, a teacher is reminding the students that those creepy crawlies are still stirring down in the black abyss. He rallies the students, telling them they're the ones who need to get strong enough to seal the monsters away for good. With a dramatic yell, he explains the stone will randomly assign them a class based on their potential. He makes it a point to say that it doesn't matter if they get a combat class or a support role as long as they do their part to help the country prosper. The students are absolutely buzzing with anticipation. After all, they've been training for this day for the last 18 years. One kid is already dreaming of landing a cushy guild position with a huge paycheck for minimal work. His friend quickly reminds him that getting a combat class is a 50-50 shot at best. And, while everyone's chatting excitedly, they notice our main character and lowest-ranked student, Lynn is completely asleep at his desk. It turns out Lynn is dead, last in the school rankings, and his classmates are teasing him that landing a good class is his only hope for a future that isn't totally pathetic. Not only is Lynn at the bottom of the academic ladder, he's also the poorest kid in class. While they're all snickering, Lynn is just hoping to see this whole thing through and figure out what class he'll end up with. A bald classmate saunters over to Lynn and asks what class he's hoping to get. Lynn, completely serious, says he's aiming for a hidden class with an S-rank skill. The guy immediately shouts this out to everyone, and the whole class erupts in laughter, roasting Lynn for dreaming way too big. One of them tells Lynn to get his head out of the clouds, saying he'd be lucky to even get a support class, let alone a combat one. Judging by the school's rankings, he's at the absolute bottom of the barrel. Lynn, however, is a big believer in comebacks and feels like he's due for a classic Phoenix rising from the ashes moment. You see, he was actually transmigrated into this world, so he figures if something that wild can happen once, lightning can definitely strike twice. Just then, the teacher calls Lynn's group to the stage. A huge, brawny guy named Wang Dong confidently strolls up to the stage, absolutely certain he's about to get a top-tier class. The teacher explains that the class assignment takes less than 5 seconds after touching the stone. She also gives Wang a heads up that it's normal to feel a little dizzy during the process. Wang Dong touches the giant crystal, and it immediately erupts in a brilliant golden glow known as the Holy Light. With that, his awakening is a success, and he gets the fighter class. Wang gives a triumphant fist pump, and on top of that, his skill is ranked C. The teacher informs him that a C-rank skill is considered excellent for most people. Wang is then instructed to head over to the guild center, where someone will get him set up with his new class. The girls in the class are already fawning over Wang Dong for landing such an awesome class, asking if he'll carry them through some dungeons. Everyone wants to be on Wang Dong's good side since a combat class is a ticket to a steady income. He walks back toward the students, soaking it all in. He deliberately bumps shoulders with Lynn and uses the chance to talk some trash. It's clear Wang Dong has always bullied Lynn, and now that he's a fighter, Lynn knows he's in for a really bad time. Wang Dong's friends immediately jump in, trying to make it seem like Lynn was the one at fault for the collision. They look like they're about to give him a hard time, but Wang Dong waves them off, saying he's in too good of a mood to be bothered. Lynn just wonders what kind of class he's going to get if a jerk like that can become a fighter. Just as he's pondering his fate, his bullies are wondering the exact same thing. A moment later, Lynn is called to the stage and all eyes are on him. Lynn gets to the stone, silently praying he awakens with any class at all, even a low-rank one. With a nervous gulp, he touches the crystal, and it bursts with the same golden light. This time, however, the light is unbelievably bright, far more intense than it was for Wang Dong. The spectacle stuns him and everyone else in the auditorium. Lynn's heart starts racing as he wonders if this is finally the incredible turnaround he's been hoping for. When the light finally subsides and things quiet down, the teacher checks his status. Lynn's hopes are instantly crushed when he learns he's a summoner. His rivals immediately start howling with laughter, as the summoner class is widely considered the most useless class of all. While the summoner class is technically for combat, it's insanely expensive to train, and the results are almost always underwhelming. Suddenly, a system window pops up right in front of him, offering him access to a triple S rank skill if he agrees to bind himself to the Lord of the Black Abyss. Lynn smashes the accept button, activating a system that will grant him a new triple S rank skill every 10 levels. This basically means he'll be on track to have 10 triple S rank skills by level 100. His first skill is revealed Abyssal Sacrifice. This allows him to transform his summons using raw demonic power drawn straight from the abyss. To make things even crazier, these modified summons can still gain experience and level up on their own through battle. However, there's a catch: he can permanently sacrifice his own maximum health points to instantly level up and empower a summon. Lynn realizes that with this ability, he won't even need to fight himself, as long as his summons are strong enough to do the work for him. He figures he can always get his max HP back later with the right gear. He learns that every 100 health points he sacrifices will raise a summons level by 1. Since his current HP is 1,000, he plans to sacrifice 900 of it, leaving himself with just 100. This means he can boost his summons all the way to level 9 right from the get-go. Even though the skill seems completely overpowered, Lynn knows he needs to be smart about using it. He's broken out of his thoughts by the teacher, who walks over to tell him not to feel too bad, assuring him there are other options even with a supposedly useless class. Lynn thanks the teacher for her kind words, but he speaks with the cool confidence of someone who's about to shake up the entire world. The teacher seems to appreciate his good attitude, but the other students just keep mocking him, telling him to go home and rethink his life. Lynn walks among the teachers, deciding he is going to become a great caller who makes a difference. Lynn returns home to his eager sister, who is ready to know what job Lynn got. Lynn says that he got the caller job, leaving his sister in shock, since she knows that the job is low-ranked. Lynn's sister gives him support and tells him not to worry, since she is going to have her own awakening next year. She believes she will awaken as a magic user so she can keep her low-ranked brother safe. Lynn pushes her to the side, telling her that he is a strong caller who does not need anyone to keep him safe. His sister yells at him for picking on her and always treating her like a kid. Just then, Lynn gets a message on his phone telling him that the students who got jobs should gather in class. Since he does not know what this is all about, he decides to leave it for later. Shortly after, Lynn and the other newly awakened students gather in the classroom where their teacher addresses them. He says that 5 people got the fighting job, 8 people got the magic user job, 11 people became helpers, and 1 person became a caller. Wong Dong does not waste time pointing to Lynn and calling his job a useless one. Dong's friend agrees with him, saying, getting such a job basically means the person's life is over. Since Lynn's case is special, the teacher has a beginner's book about callers for him. Lynn walks up to the front to get the book, and the teacher tells him that he is free to talk to him anytime if he runs into any problems. While getting the book, Lynn sees that it's covered in a lot of dust, meaning no one ever reads it because the caller job is so low-ranked. The teacher then tells them that they have been gathered because the school wants to collect specific information on students who have gotten a job. The teacher tells his students to be on their best behavior because the other classes will be at the test. Soon the students move out to the testing spot. An overexcited student is the first to step up and show his power as a magic user. His power is quite good, and this gets him 73 points. Wong Dong also shows his fighter powers by cutting the ground, leaving a bright light. His good show of power gets him 89 points. The teachers praise him, telling him that he is going to be first in the class with that score. Soon, Lynn is called forward to show his skills. He had learned some basic calling techniques from the book he got from the teacher, but he had not tried any of them yet. However, he is ready to give it his all to make sure he does not mess up in front of his classmates and teachers. He opens his calling book and says some words. This immediately causes a strong wind to hit the whole area, leaving everyone shocked. They are all curious to see the strong creature that Lynn is about to summon with his big power. When the smoke clears, everyone, including Lynn, is shocked to see that he has summoned a slime. This starts another round of laughter from the students, who cannot believe that after all the show Lynn just put on, all he could summon was a slime. They start saying mean things to him, telling him that slimes are basically useless against monsters because they will definitely get torn apart. Lynn himself is let down as he cannot believe that he just summoned the least expected thing. The slime is at level 1, and its attack power is 9. For skills, the slime has Eat Away and Throw, but it has no summoning gear. Lynn compares the slime's attack power to a light touch because of how low it is. He is still worried about this when the teacher calls everyone's attention to his score. They are all expecting great things, but are let down yet again when they see 9 points on the board. The teacher tries to lift Lynn's spirit by telling him that 9 points are better than nothing. However, Lynn asks the teacher if he can try again. The teacher sees nothing wrong with this and tells Lynn to go ahead. Lynn then uses his SSS level skill Black Abyss offering. The system tells him that the summoned creature will be forever changed if he goes ahead to use the Black Abyss offering on it. Lynn accepts the terms and proceeds. Behind him, Wong Dong is already saying mean things, telling him that he is only wasting his time trying again. Lynn ignores the hecklers and gives up 200 health points. Suddenly, a sinister red aura emerges and merges with the slime. This causes a shocking transformation that leaves everyone with their mouths open. Lynn's eyes light up in surprise when he sees the transformed slime and its new stats. The slime's health has gone up to 1,200 from 500. The attack power has jumped from 9 to 120. In addition to its previous 2 skills, it has gained the bad place stance. To see what the slime can do, Lynn gives it an attack order, and it rushes into the distance, leaving a loud boom behind. With the slime's action, the points board starts to update. Surprisingly, the board moves from 9 points to 120, shocking the teachers and students. They refuse to believe that the least expected person just got 120 points. Wong Dong's supporters start losing their cool since Lynn has more points than their main guy. Even Wong Dong cannot believe his eyes. He immediately brings up a concern, reminding everyone that Lynn did the test twice, and there is a chance that he messed with the machine. The other students immediately join in claiming that Lynn cheated the second time. They call out to the teacher, telling him that Lynn first got 9 points, and there is no way it suddenly jumped to 120 points. Lynn knows he messed with something, but it was not the machine. He only used his skill on his summon the slime. In no time, the teacher starts to agree with the kids, telling Lynn that they are actually right. Lynn argues with the teacher, telling him that he did not cheat. The teacher then walks up to the machine, and after a closer look and deep thought, he turns to the students. He tells them that Lynn did not cheat. However, he claims that the machine had a problem. Wong Dong hears this and lets out a sigh of relief because he can never believe that low-ranking people like Lynn would have better points than him. Wong Dong then asks the teacher what they are supposed to do with Lynn's points. The other students are already putting on the pressure, telling the teacher that the point system showed 9. The teacher then tells Lynn that he will have to take the test another time since the machine had a problem. Lynn is shocked that the teacher is actually giving him another chance. The students start to complain about this choice, but the teacher stands his ground, telling them that it is final. The teacher then tells the students who have not been tested, including Lynn, to wait behind while the machine is being fixed. With a menacing glare, Wong got right in Lynn's face, insisting that no matter how many times he retook the test, he'd always be a bottom-tier nobody. Wong then rallied his cronies, announcing it was time to head for the first level of the Dark Abyss, which immediately clued Lynn in that they were going to a newbie-level dungeon. Since they were all headed to the same place anyway, Lynn figured it was the perfect opportunity to test out his newly upgraded slime. A team of experts arrived to inspect the busted machine, concluding from the sheer extent of the damage that the school must have produced yet another genius. Out of nowhere, an old man pops up and starts praising Lynn for being a caller, leaving Lynn completely baffled, but deciding to just roll with the weirdness. The strange old man then presented a small stick, claiming it was a top-tier caller staff that he was willing to part with for a mere 300 gold coins. Lynn could not believe what he was hearing, staring at what was clearly just a twig and calling the old man out for trying to pull a fast one on him. Unfazed, the old man explained that he was only offering the so-called staff to Lynn because he felt a special connection between them. He swore he wouldn't have even considered it for anyone else, so Lynn skeptically grabbed the stick, only to be jolted by a surprising flow of power. Considering he had zero information on the caller class or where to buy gear for it, Lynn decided to take the deal, but a quick pouch check revealed he only had 92 gold coins. He genuinely pleaded with the old man, asking if he'd consider a discount, and the man replied that he'd happily accept the 92 gold coins as a down payment. Lynn was confused by the term down payment, so the man clarified that the initial sum would just reserve the staff so he wouldn't sell it to anyone else. The catch, however, was that to get the staff for good, Lynn would have to venture into the deepest part of the first level Dark Abyss maze and retrieve a treasure for him. Is it too late to back out? Lynn groaned, realizing he'd just been roped into an inescapable side quest. When asked what he was supposed to be looking for, Lynn was told he'd know the treasure when he saw it once he made it to the maze's core. The old man then eagerly grabbed Lynn's hand, pressing it onto an agreement form, which only made Lynn wonder why he was so desperate to make this sale. With the handprint secured, the old man cheerily sent Lynn on his way, reminding him not to forget their little deal. The old man was practically buzzing with excitement while Lynn just walked off in a daze. Moments later, Lynn's teacher appeared asking Elder Fang what he was doing at the testing center. The teacher assured Fang he could head back, explaining that nothing interesting had happened besides the assessment machine malfunctioning. Fang then casually asked the teacher if he was familiar with a student named Lynn, and the teacher confirmed Lynn was in his class. The teacher mentioned that Lynn had ended up with the caller job, predicting a tough road ahead for the kid, and Fang couldn't help but agree that Lynn's journey would be incredibly challenging. Before long, Lynn found himself at the entrance to the Dark Abyss lower world area, also known as the Cold Valley Black Abyss, which typically required a party of 3 to 5 people to enter. The entry requirement was for levels 1 to 10, and anyone higher would be turned away by the guardian at the gate. Seeing as the minimum party size was 3, Lynn quickly realized he wouldn't be able to get in by himself. He pulled up a message screen and saw that there were monthly rewards for the top-ranked players in the Black Abyss clearings for the previous season. He noticed Fang Chongyun's name on the list, who had received a newbie chestplate with some pretty sweet stats, and the promise of similar rewards sparked Lynn's determination to claw his way to the number 1 spot. Just then, some of Lynn's classmates spotted him at the entrance and were shocked that a low-rank nobody like him would even dare to attempt the dungeon. Lynn's mood instantly soured, realizing he had to put up with these jerks yet again. Wang Dong sneered at Lynn to just go home, saying a useless caller had no business being at the Black Abyss, but Lynn shot back that they should all just mind their own business. Joe then chimed in, reminding Lynn that his pride was worthless here, since he couldn't even enter the dungeon without a team. Wang Dong then grandly held up his hand, asking who wanted to team up with him, and was immediately swarmed by students begging to be picked. Playing the part of a benevolent leader, Wang Dong eventually selected 2 guys from the crowd, and once his team of 5 was assembled, he announced their goal was to aim for first place. But as they approached the gate, it suddenly spat out a pile of human bones, sending a wave of panic through the newly formed group. The new recruits realized they were just one wrong move away from becoming Monster Chow, but Wang managed to rally their courage enough for them to step through the ominous portal. Lynn watched them go, figuring that Wang and his original 2 buddies would probably ditch the 2 new guys as soon as they were no longer useful. A little while later, Lynn noticed a lone girl with a singer class, another job considered pretty weak. Her name was Lee Shuer, and it looked like she'd been struggling to find a party for a while. To her utter amazement, Lynn walked right up and asked if she'd like to join his team, leaving Lee Shuer stunned that someone with an S-level skill would approach her. Lynn just smiled and admitted that while he planned on shooting for the top of the rankings, nobody seemed willing to party up with him. She thought his goal sounded completely impossible, but at the same time she couldn't pass up the chance to team up with such a friendly and powerful player. So she eagerly accepted his offer with a handshake, and Lynn explained that he would handle all the monster fighting. All she needed to do was focus on staying safe. Lee Shuer was absolutely thrilled to hear that and promised Lynn she would do exactly as he asked. Lynn was pleased. Now they just needed one more person, but suddenly a commotion drew everyone's attention to the arrival of the school's most popular girl, Su Qing. All the guys immediately started shouting over each other, begging her to join their teams and promising they would protect her. Su Qing, however, was internally disgusted, viewing them all as a bunch of weaklings. Even Lynn was surprised to see the campus belle there, but then he noticed she was walking straight toward him. Su Qing had a plan brewing in her mind. She was going to use Lynn for her own benefit, figuring that teaming up with someone everyone saw as a low-rank player would create exactly the kind of stir she was looking for. Su Qing then acts friendly, asking to join Lynn's team. The moment the boys hear this, they lose their cool. Even Lynn is shocked and is forced to ask Su Qing again. Su Qing confirms that she did not make a mistake and even holds hands with him. This draws more hate from the men who start to question why Su Qing would go for a low-ranked person like Lynn. Lynn can feel their hateful stares, but wonders why he is getting the blame when Su Qing was the one who approached him. One of the guys goes too far, and with a harsh tone, Su Qing tells him to get lost. Without wasting any more time, Su Qing tells her new team members that it is time for them to go to the Black Abyss. Before they enter, Lynn asks her why she decided to join their team. Su Qing proudly replies that she is competing for the top ranking, and because of this, she needs a bunch of low-ranked people with her. She is sure that she will be the talk of the town if she is able to lead 2 worthless low-rank people to the first position. Lynn and Liu cannot believe that they have just been called useless and low-rank. It suddenly dawns on Lynn that he has found himself in a team with 2 women. Liu is shocked that they are already entering the dungeon with just 3 people, but Suqing says that there was no one good enough to join them. The 3 then step into the gate, finding themselves inside the cold black abyss valley. The 3 admit that the dungeon is very cold. Even the warm clothes Lynn brought have no effect against the harsh weather. Liu then says that she knows a low-level cold resistance boost that might help them. She plays her instrument to start the spell, and it lets out a warm feeling for her and her team members. Suqing smiles at this as she praises Liu for being useful. Lynn then walks ahead, saying that they should get a move on since they are aiming to reach the first position. Suddenly, they come across a beast with red eyes which turns out to be a walking wolf. The beast is rated a normal grade monster with an attack power of 21. Suqing steps forward, telling her teammates that the wolf is a low-level monster. She is glad that it came at just the right time for her to practice. A blue aura swirls around her body as she transforms, getting claws and teeth in the process. Suqing finishes her transformation into her beast form, the small cat. She looks scary, and Lynn finally gets to see the power of the nature user job in action. Without holding back, Suqing jumps toward the wolf, ready to tear it apart. She cuts the wolf many times, lowering its health, and Lynn figures out that Suqing's attacks have a slowing effect. Liu is impressed by Suqing's performance and how she easily took out the wolf without stress. For taking out the wolf, Suqing gets wolf skin, which is worth 20 gold coins per set, and wolf fangs, which are worth 10 gold coins per set. Suqing then tells Liu that she will be giving her the items as a thank you gift for the cold resistance boost she used on them. Liu smiles, assuring Suqing that it is not necessary. With that, the team continues their journey through the Black Abyss. Soon they come across a new set of wolves. Just like before, Suqing rushes straight in. She cuts the wolves all at once, taking them down. However, she takes a bit of damage in the process. She knows it is hard to take on a bunch of wolves at once, but at the same time, she does not want to lose the top position. Liu immediately sees that Suqing's arm is cut and asks if she is fine, offering to help with a low-level healing spell. Suqing rudely tells her that low-level skills will not help that much and tells her to save her mana. Suqing reaches into her storage and pulls out a healing potion that she drinks to restore her health. The journey continues, but suddenly, Suqing steps into a magic circle without seeing it. She gets thrown to the ground by the resulting explosion. When the dust clears, they find that they have stumbled upon a scary beast, the mutated zombie. Even Suqing is forced to admit that things have gone wrong since they have suddenly come across a fearsome zombie. Liu says that the zombie is an elite monster, and it has no reason to show up in this dungeon. Lynn says that Suqing might have taken out too many walking wolves, which attracted the zombie's attention. Suddenly, the zombie runs towards Suqing and hits her with its weapon. Suqing fails to react because of the zombie's immense speed, and she gets thrown backwards effortlessly. Suqing hits the ground, breaking it on impact, which leaves her incapacitated. The zombie walks toward her, aiming to finish her off, while Liu screams at Lynn that they need to help Suqing. Just as the zombie is about to finish Suqing off with its big hammer, Lynn summons his slime. The slime appears immediately, and Lynn orders it to use the acid dance skill. The slime takes the order, and at great speed it runs towards Suqing, grabbing her out of the zombie's path before it can finish her off. The zombie hits the ground with its weapon, shocked that there is no sign of the girl in the rubble. Lynn then tells Liu to take Suqing to the nearest safe zone while he takes care of the elite zombie. Liu agrees to the order, but the zombie wastes no time running at Lynn. Lynn then orders the slime to use the slime throw skill. Excited, the slime jumps into the air and spits out slime liquid all over the zombie. After this, Lynn orders the slime to use acid stance. Even with these two skills combined, the zombie is barely damaged. Lynn finds out that the elite zombie has high resistance, which is why they can only deal 50% damage. Since the zombie is a problem, he decides that finding another way to deal with it is the best path forward. Suddenly, Lynn discovers that the slime can actually melt the zombie's body. Because of this, Lynn orders the slime to go for the zombie's ankles by combining acid dance and corrosive slime. As usual, the slime excitedly takes the order, running toward the zombie's lower body. The zombie does not realize what is happening at first until it loses its balance and falls to the ground. Meanwhile, Liu is busy using healing magic on Suqing. Suqing slightly opens her eyes to see Lynn taking on the zombie all by himself. Lynn then tells the slime to go after the zombie's legs. The zombie tries to protect itself, but the slime's liquid covers it, causing its health to drop rapidly. In no time, the zombie is fully covered in the slime's corrosive liquid, taking it out. The system tells Lynn that he has taken out the elite mutated zombie, and by doing so, he has gained 120 experience points. The zombie also drops some items: the body hammer, wolf skin, and 10 pieces each of wolf teeth. Model. Well, Lynn leveled up too, and he was completely stunned by how much experience he got. The only explanation was that he must have taken down a seriously tough monster. Louie was totally blown away by the display, which made her ask, "Wait, are all summoners usually this overpowered?" Subing, now fully conscious, corrected her, saying it had nothing to do with Lynn's class. Suchin quickly put 2 and 2 together, realizing that Lynn was just incredibly strong on his own, with or without his job skills. At that moment, Lynn came over to her and gently asked how she was doing. Susing assured our hero that she was on the mend, explaining it was just a minor injury. Liu chimed in that her healing spell was helping, but insisted they all needed to take a breather. "No way," Susing shot back, reminding them they were in a race for the top spot and couldn't afford any extra downtime. Liu tried to gently point out that she was still in rough shape, but Susing insisted she had plenty of energy left. To make her case, she pushed herself back onto her feet. She managed a few shaky steps before she started to tremble. Lynn quickly caught her, reminding her, "You're not going to get first place if you end up disqualified from exhaustion." Lynn's logic finally broke through, and Suging reluctantly agreed. It was time for a break. Lynn spotted a cave not too far off and suggested they could rest there for the night. After they got a small camp set up inside the cave, Lynn told the girls to get some rest while he scouted the perimeter for any potential threats. He barely finished his sentence before Li Wei was already out like a light. She'd used up way too much mana and was completely wiped. Lynn and Suqing could only stare, amazed that she had passed out in a matter of seconds. Lynn then turned to Suqing, telling her to rest up too while he did a security check. Sug's face went bright red as she thanked Lynn for saving her life. Lynn gave her a slightly confused look, so Suqing, trying to hide her blush, quickly explained that she's just a decent person who always thanks people who help her out. She then turned over to sleep, muttering for Lynn to just forget she said anything. As Lynn walked out of the cave, he couldn't help but smile. Once outside, he figured it was a good time to check his stats since he just hit level 3. A huge grin spread across Lynn's face when he saw the massive boost he'd received. His health had jumped from 800 to 1,200. His attack power had also shot up from 12 to 40, and a few of his other stats got some nice little tweaks as well. On top of the better stats, he unlocked the full cover skill, which was basically a buff. Since his last level up gave him 400 health, Lynn decided to use it to upgrade the slime to level 4. He had 1/200 health points available, and he invested the 400 points. The slime practically beamed as it powered up its attack, rocketing from 120 to 1,400. The slime also picked up a brand new skill, Slime Split. This one piqued Lynn's curiosity, so he decided to activate it and see what happened. The moment the skill was active, he told the slime to go for it, and just like that, it split into 2 identical copies. Lynn quickly noticed that the slime's health had been divided perfectly between them. The same went for its defense, but interestingly enough, its speed had actually increased. Lynn was pretty impressed, but had no clue how long the skill would last. Right then, a timer appeared before him, indicating the skill's cooldown was 3 minutes. Lynn almost flipped out when he realized he had such a short 3-minute window to use this ability. He was wondering what on earth the slime could accomplish in just 3 minutes when a loud crash from inside the cave shattered the silence. He knew instantly that his friends were in trouble. He bolted back into the cave and found them screaming at some monster to get away from them. Without a second's hesitation, Lynn ordered the slimes to attack the terrifying creature. The slimes launched their projectiles, but it only chipped away 25 of the monster's health. Lynn was shocked that his slime's attack did so little damage to the beast, which he now saw was a giant snow rabbit. It was a level 8 monster with a hefty 800 health points. It also boasted 80 attack power, which made it a genuinely serious threat. According to the system's pop-up info, Lynn learned that these creatures live in icy environments year-round. Plus, their thick fur makes them resistant to basic attacks. The girls immediately thought this was the end of the line for them, seeing the enormous power difference. The rabbit let out an angry roar and charged straight for Lynn. Suchin cried out for him, yelling at him to be careful, but Lynn didn't look worried at all as he commanded the slimes to fire their liquid shots at the rabbit. The rabbit, however, was completely unfazed and swatted the slimes aside, as if they were nothing more than a minor annoyance. The rabbit's incredible speed allowed it to easily dodge the slime attacks, and it was finally dawning on Lynn that this might be a bigger problem than he thought. He yelled at his modified slime, telling it to fall back and use its bad play stance and eat away slime skills. The slime obeyed the command, but the rabbit was just way too fast. It managed to zip right past every trap Lynn was trying to lay for it. Panic started to set in for the team as Li Wei asked in disbelief why the rabbit was moving so quickly. Suking explained that the rabbit was the most notorious monster in the Cold Valley Abyss, and because of its strength, it had taken out countless adventurers. But what confused Subing was why it was attacking them when they hadn't even entered its territory. And just when things couldn't seem to get any worse, Lynn saw that his bad play dance skill was on cooldown. He immediately ordered the slime to retreat to his position, but it was too late. The rabbit caught the slime and slammed it into the ground. Seeing this, Liu jumped in to help, while Suking screamed at her to stay put. Liu grabbed a nearby rock and hurled it at the rabbit's head. That finally got the rabbit's attention, shifting it from the slime to Liu. Liu gasped, realizing she might have just made a huge mistake. She screamed as the menacing rabbit started to stalk toward her. Fumbling in her bag, Liu grabbed the very first thing her fingers touched. The item turned out to be a carrot, which she instinctively threw at the rabbit. To everyone's astonishment, the creature dropped its ferocious act and began nibbling on the carrot like a perfectly normal bunny. That's when it dawned on Lynn the rabbit was just hungry. Suching, on the other hand, had to ask Liu the million-dollar question of why she was carrying carrots in the first place. Liu explained that she'd brought them along because they were a required food item for the quest. After finishing the first carrot, the rabbit turned back to the group with a mean look in its eyes. A shiver went down their spines, and Liu quickly tossed the rabbit a whole bunch of carrots to keep it from turning them into paste. While the rabbit was preoccupied with its snack, Lynn realized their carrot supply was running low. They had to figure out a way to defeat it, and fast. Lynn then shouted at Li Wei to throw her bag to Suching. Suching was stunned by the order, but Liu didn't hesitate for a second and tossed the bag over. The very instant the bag landed in her hands, the rabbit snapped its attention directly to her. Suching screams at Lynn, asking him if he has a plan for the rabbit. Suching right away changes into her beast form and runs away from the rabbit. Lynn confirms he has a plan to take out the rabbit. The rabbit gets mad for failing to catch Suching after a few tries, making it let out a loud sound in anger. After running around for a moment, Suching asks Lynn what his plan is. Lynn then points to the hardest part of the cave, telling Suching to lead the rabbit straight there. Right away, Suching figures out what he is trying to do. She heads straight for the designated spot while the rabbit chases after her. Suching runs on all fours while holding the carrot bag in her mouth. She makes sure to get very close to the wall before changing direction, making the rabbit head straight into the wall. The impact dazes the rabbit, and Lynn orders the slime to do its thing. The slime then appears above the rabbit, letting out its corrosive liquid on it. Lynn grins like a villain when he sees that he finally has the rabbit where he wants it. He then orders the slime to use the split skill and the slime throw skill to go after the annoying rabbit. Fear takes the rabbit as it sees what is coming for it. The slime rains its corrosive liquid down on the trapped rabbit, finally lowering its health and taking it out. This gives Lynn 200 experience points, and he now needs 100 experience points to reach the next level. Lynn figures out that the slime will have a hard time against a strong enemy, but he thinks he has a way to get around a similar situation. Liu lets out a big sigh of relief that they have taken out the rabbit, since she thought she was going to be taken out. On the other hand, Suching is still upset that Lynn used her as bait. Lynn scratches his head nervously, telling Suching that she was the only one fast enough to outrun the rabbit. Suching agrees with what Lynn is saying, but she turns her anger to Liu, blaming her for bringing carrots into the Black Abyss, which led to the rabbit chasing them. Liu tries to explain herself, saying she was trying to provide the team with dry food. However, Suching yells at her to get rid of the carrots. Liu is about to throw away the carrots, but Lynn stops her. He points out that the rabbits have given them more experience points than all the other monsters they have come across so far. He tells the team it will be much easier for them to level up if they can lure more snow rabbits into the cave and wipe them out. Since clearing the Cold Valley, Abyss requires taking out the level 10 boss, he says they need to get to level 4 or above. Lynn is currently at level 3, while the girls are at level 2 each. Liu understands the need to level up, but she reminds Lynn that they had a hard time dealing with just one rabbit. Lynn puts on a sly smile, telling the girls that last time they were the ones being chased, but this time they are going to be the chasers. Suching also agrees with Lynn, since she is aiming for the top spot, and she can't be going around looking for monsters when the monsters can come to them. She decides that it is time they start planning out their move. The team then places a carrot on the ground while hiding behind a rock. This soon draws a rabbit to the spot, but while the rabbit is busy eating, Lynn and his teammates start a surprise attack. The three keep this up, and 3 hours later, Lynn has reached level 5 while the girls make it to level 4 each. The girls are glad that they have been in the Black Abyss for just 5 hours, and they have leveled up really well. The first place record was set by Fang, who cleared the Black Abyss in 8 hours. Liu then brings up the idea that they can actually break the record. Suching is not sure since the Black Abyss boss is quite dangerous and will not just sit around while they attack it. Lynn remembers that the guide told them that the Black Abyss boss is a zombie leader who commands wolves and the undead to attack its enemies. Lynn does not think the boss will be hard to take out, but it will come down to a test of endurance in the end. Lynn judges that they should be able to take down the boss in 2 hours or less with their current level and power. Liu then asks them what the plan is. Suching says that they should rest, and Lynn agrees, saying they should take a 30-minute break. Lynn then levels up his slime, but is not happy that he has to lower his own health to do so. He figures out that he has to find another way to level up the slime when he gets back outside. Lynn sees that he did not get new skills, and his stats did not go up by much. He can only hope that the boss fight is not long. Suddenly, a loud noise from outside the cave gets their attention. They rush outside to see a unicorn standing in the distance. The unicorn turns out to be a hidden boss, which is also level 10. However, it seems to be dangerous, as it shows off 120 attack power points for its skills. It has skills like Running Thorn Soul Cleansing, Song Stomping Run, and Falling Star. It seems the unicorn is a good and pure creature that uses the Black Abyss as its resting spot. The unicorn's job is to keep the creatures in the Black Abyss from being bothered. Whenever it feels like the balance of life is being messed with, it shows up to take care of the problem. Sweat runs down Lynn's face when he finds out that they are going up against an actual unicorn. Lynn considers himself lucky to have run into the hidden boss, but at the same time he knows he needs to be careful since its stats are much stronger than the original zombie leader boss. The slime looks at the unicorn with worry while waiting for the command to attack. Just then, the unicorn uses one of its skills to put Lynn and his teammates in a trance. This affects Lynn's mental state, and he starts commenting on the unicorn's beautiful appearance while walking forward aimlessly. It turns out that the unicorn is leading Lynn and his teammates towards a cliff to make them fall and be eliminated. The slime moves into action and sinks into Lynn's leg to pull him back to his senses. Lynn opens his eyes, wondering why the slime grabbed him, until he sees where he is heading. Lynn turns around to see the girls almost at the edge of the drop. Just as they are about to step off, Lynn rushes over to grab them. He pulls them back, helping them to get their senses back. The three then hide behind a rock to assess their situation. The girls wonder why they are being chased by a unicorn when the Black Abyss boss is supposed to be a zombie leader. Lynn explains that the unicorn's job is to protect the creatures in the Black Abyss, and because they wiped out so many rabbits, it now sees them as a threat. Lau finally put it together. The unicorn didn't bother with the corrupted wolves and zombies because technically they weren't living creatures anymore. This is not how it was supposed to go. Suching grumbled, clearly annoyed. The dungeon guide said, "We just had to plow through some monsters to get to the final boss." Nobody said anything about a hidden boss showing up, especially one that's way tougher than the main event. Sugan sighed, the grim reality setting in. "So I guess this is it. We're about to become unicorn food." Lou's eyes started to water. "That's why we ran. I don't want to die." But Lynn shook his head, his expression serious. "There's no running. The moment we messed with those snow rabbits, it put a target on our backs." Lou started sobbing. "This is all my fault. If I hadn't brought those dumb carrots, we could have just farmed zombies and made it to the boss without any trouble. Now we're all going to get wiped out because I messed up." Lynn gave her a gentle pat on the shoulder. "Hey, cut it out with that low-rank thinking. That little detour of yours is the reason we leveled up so much." He turned to the others. "This is our chance to actually clear this dungeon. If we can just take down this unicorn..." Lynn then stood up, striking a dramatic pose. "Don't you worry, I'll keep you all safe from this overgrown pony." Suching was not about to let Lynn steal the show. She leaped to her feet, bristling with confidence. "Oh, please, you really think I'm scared of a little unicorn?" She pointed a thumb at herself, taking charge. "Just try not to get in my way while I'm handling the boss." A huge smile broke out on Lou's face. "You guys are the greatest," but her words were cut short when a massive attack from the unicorn slammed into the spot where they were strategizing. The unicorn activated its Running Thorn skill. As it charged, Lynn yelled at the top of his lungs, "Everybody spread out!" The unicorn galloped towards them enraged and unleashed its soul-cleansing song skill. The ability sent a jarring wave of psychic noise into their minds, but for some reason Lou was completely unaffected. She immediately started playing her instrument, creating a counter-melody that purified their minds and shielded them from the unicorn's mental assault. The unicorn switched gears, activating another ability, the Stomping Run. It targeted the one person who was nullifying its primary attack, Lou. It lowered its head, aiming to impale her. But Suching dove in at the last second, knocking its horn off course. She followed up with a sharp kick to the unicorn's head, sending it stumbling back. This only made the unicorn angrier, and its furious gaze immediately shifted to Suching. She gave it a cheeky grin, but the unicorn closed the distance between them in an instant. Suching's confident smile faded as she realized how terrifyingly fast the beast was. Lynn saw the path its horn was taking and knew she was in serious danger. Suching couldn't get out of the way in time, and the horn struck her. She collapsed to the ground as Liu screamed her name and rushed to help. The unicorn reared up, looking down on its handiwork with pride. Lynn's face darkened with rage. "All right, that's it, Slime. It's our turn to get in on the action." And his evolved slime was now level 9 with an impressive 160 attack power. The slime launched itself at the unicorn, spewing a stream of its corrosive acid. The attack caused a whole new level of pain, making the unicorn shriek and lose its footing. Liu and Suching could hardly believe their eyes. The little slime was actually dominating the fight. "I knew its holy nature would be weak against the slime's dark attribute," Lynn said with a grin. "But I never imagined it would be this effective." Lynn was thoroughly impressed. "Keep it up. Slime don't give it a second to breathe." The constant pain became too much, and the unicorn tried to flee, but Lynn shouted, "Slime, use your corrosive slime skill in the unholy dance." The slime jiggled excitedly and shot after the retreating boss. It easily caught up to the unicorn, gave it a smug little look, and unleashed another attack. The unicorn screamed in agony as it crashed to the ground. "Awesome work, buddy," Lynn praised his companion. Pinned to the floor, the unicorn made one last desperate attempt and began its cleansing song again. "Everyone cover your ears," Lynn commanded. The unicorn then charged straight for the slime. Seeing its plan, Lynn shouted, "Slime divide!" Right at the moment of impact, the slime split into 2 identical copies, causing the unicorn's attack to hit nothing but empty air. Now facing 2 slimes, it initiated its stomping run skill. As it began trying to crush the slimes, Lynn realized his full protection skill, which was keeping the slime safe, was about to expire. He had to end this now. "Slime used the corrosive slime skill," Lynn ordered. One of the slimes immediately leaped high into the air, positioning itself behind the unicorn. The unicorn stepped into a puddle of corrosive slime left by the other half, just as the airborne slime landed directly on its back. It enveloped the creature, completely sending a fresh wave of unimaginable pain through it, causing it to scream. Realizing its life was in danger, the unicorn was forced into a berserk state. "Whoa, it's going nuts!" Lynn yelled. "Slime, fall back!" The unicorn staggered to its feet, but instead of attacking it, just stood there, staring intently at Lynn. Suddenly, Lynn noticed a unique aura flowing from the unicorn. While he was trying to figure it out, Suching charged forward, shouting, "Lynn, what are you waiting for? Finish it off." Lao moved in to support her, but Lynn screamed at them, "Stop, don't do it." Suching paid him no mind and slammed the unicorn with a powerful blow, sending it toppling over. It was only then that she noticed the unicorn was actually crying. The sight shocked her. In its final moments, the unicorn let out one last piercing cry. Lynn and his team covered their ears as he commanded, "Slime, absorb its power." The slime obeyed, and Lynn sighed, thinking it was all over. But then the entire cavern began to collapse around them. "Everyone get back to me now," Lynn yelled. They rushed over to him as the slime spread its body out to shield them from the falling debris. The girls wondered why the place was suddenly falling apart, and Lynn explained, "The dungeon's guardian is gone. Because of that, the magic holding this place together is unraveling." Amid the chaos, Lynn ordered, "Slime, make sure the unicorn's body is safe." The slime followed the order, covering the unicorn's body entirely to protect it. After a few moments, the cave-in stopped. "All right, let's go check on the unicorn's body," Lynn announced. Suching looked completely lost. "What is going on?" Lynn explained. That aura it had was a healing ability. When it made contact with the ground, it started to repair the dungeon. Suching immediately suggested they finish it off so they could leave, but Lynn stopped her. "Wait, we can't kill it yet." Suching wonders why Lynn is stopping her from taking out the unicorn. Liu sees that something is wrong with the unicorn, shocking Suching that she is taking Lynn's side. Lynn wonders what the unicorn is trying to give to them, and it suddenly lets off a huge scream. This gets Suching's attention, and she tries to end the unicorn, but Lynn still stops her. Suching scolds Lynn, telling him not to stop her again. Lynn then sees that there is a bump in the unicorn's tummy. Suddenly a horn bursts through the unicorn's belly. Soon a baby unicorn shows up from inside the mother unicorn. Suching thinks that the boss unicorn has the power to revive itself. As usual, she gets ready to end the unicorn before anything else. She goes for the unicorn, but Lynn jumps in to keep the unicorn safe and stop Suching from acting too fast. Suching ends up cutting Lynn on the face, and the blood spills on the baby unicorn's horn. Suching is still yelling at Lynn for acting so rashly when Lynn gets the message that he has made a deal with the baby unicorn. Everyone is shocked to see a bright green light behind them. The baby unicorn changes into pure light and goes into Lynn's mind. Lynn checks the unicorn's stats, and they are still pretty low, which makes sense for a baby unicorn. Lynn is glad that his guess about the unicorn trying to keep its baby safe was right. Lynn is happy that he now has 2 summons. Suddenly, the surroundings start to shake again, making the ground crack. Suching and Lisu make a run for it, but they turn around to see Lynn standing above the mother unicorn. Lynn bows beside the unicorn, promising that he is going to take care of its baby. The message comes in that Lynn has taken out the unicorn and he is given a bunch of items too. In addition to this, he broke the record for clearing the dungeon. The ground keeps shaking and gets worse than before. Suching and Lisu yell at him to get a move on, but before he can move, the ground under him collapses and he falls in. His teammates are scared, but while falling to his death, the system asks him if he is ready to leave the dungeon, and he quickly taps the yes option. A pixelated light shows up on Lynn and his teammates' bodies, and in no time they find themselves outside the dungeon. Suching immediately walks over to him, grabbing him by the shirt while Lynn tells her to calm down. Meanwhile, the other fighters have gotten the message that the rankings will be changing since there is a new record breaker in town. This leaves them wondering because the leaderboard has not changed in years. Some say that it might be Lynn, but they quickly throw away the thought, saying, there is no way a low ranker like Lynn could break Fang's record. Just then, the gate starts to glow, showing that someone is stepping out. Someone asks Lynn and his teammates if they were the ones who broke the record, but his friend scolds him, telling him that Lynn is a nobody. He says Lynn and his friends must have been forced to leave the dungeon early. Suching is upset when she hears this, and she tries to go off on the guys, but Lynn and Lisu hold her back since they are already used to being made fun of by people. Wong and his team finally step out of the dungeon. He looks at Lynn in the usual condescending way he looks at him. He makes it clear that he was not expecting a low ranker like him to actually make it out of the dungeon alive. Wong then sees that Suching is with Lynn, and he wonders why a beauty like her is with a low ranker like Lynn. Wong's friend backs him up, but Suching just tells them to get lost. While adding a few mean words, this gets the dude upset, but Wong tells him to back off. Wong then asks Lynn if he can now see the gap between them, but Lynn laughs, asking him what low-rank gap he is talking about. Wong lets his feelings get the better of him as usual, and he grabs Lynn by the shirt, yelling at him until he hears the people behind him talking about the leaderboard getting an update. They are all shocked when they hear that Lin Tianhao has taken the first position on the board. Wong leaves the dude in shame while trying to take in what he just heard. The onlookers start pointing to Lin, talking about how great he is to have pushed Fang Chongyun off the leaderboard after 3 years. Wong's friends, on the other hand, refuse to believe what is right before their eyes. They start their usual speculation that Lin must have cheated just like he did during the school exam. However, the other fighters there do not think Lin cheated, since there is no way someone could cheat in the dungeon. Just then, they hear a voice behind them talking about how simple-minded they are for thinking someone cheated in the dungeon. The aura from the voice makes them turn around, and they are shocked to see the 2 famous siblings, Murong Yu and his sister, Murong Shuer, walking toward them with their NPC teammates. The crowd immediately turns its attention toward the famous siblings whom they rarely see outside. Even Lin is shocked to see them, since they are both great fighters who have titles that are very hard to get. Murong Yu is a level 9 swordsman with an A-rank skill level. Murong Shuer, on the other hand, is a level 8 hidden attacker who also has an A-rank skill level. Lin wonders why the siblings suddenly showed up at the place, since they are of a high status class and usually enter the Black Abyss via special moving gates. However, there are also high-status players who choose to make teams with regular players to enter the Black Abyss since they already have a team. Lin is further confused about what they are doing at a low-level place. As expected, Wong walks up to Murong Shuer to offer himself to her, but she just ignores him as if he were nothing. Wong's friend gets upset over this again, yelling at Murong Shuer and demanding to know why she just ignored his friend as if he were a nobody. Murong Shuer adds to the insults, telling them that she is let down, that such a low-ranking person managed to awaken as a member of the Holy Fighters. This further startles the dude, but Wong stops him from acting rashly. Wong then tells the siblings that Lin is just a guy who cheated in the dungeon. Wong turns to Lin, telling him that he is lucky, but there will not be a next time for him. Wong and his group leave the scene, and Suching lets out a breath of relief that the troublemakers are finally gone. Murong Yu then finally gets the chance to talk to Lin, asking him if he is the guy who just changed the ranking of the Black Abyss. Murong Yu takes off his glove to shake hands with Lin while introducing himself. Lin is truly shocked to see that Murong Yu was looking for him out of all people. This leaves him stunned until Murong-shu yells at him, asking if he is blind to the fact that her brother is trying to shake his hand. Murong-yu tells his overly enthusiastic sister to cool her jets, and Lynn, looking a bit flustered, finally snaps out of his daze to awkwardly say hi back. Just as Lynn reaches out for a handshake, Suching yanks him back, turns to the brother-sister duo and declares, "Sorry, he's already on our team." That clearly doesn't sit well with Murong-yu. With a look of complete disgust, he tells Suching to get out of the way so he can speak with Lynn directly. Suching completely ignores him clearly, not about to let anyone poach her new recruit. As she tries to lead Lynn away, Murong-yu blocks their path, stating plainly that they also want Lynn on their team. All the other fighters watching are floored. Seeing the high and mighty Murang family desperate to recruit a summoner is not an everyday sight. One of the onlookers points out that Lynn isn't just any summoner, he's the one who just smashed the Black Abyss record. Suddenly it clicks for everyone with him. The Murang family could climb the ranks with ridiculous ease. But Suching isn't backing down. She tells the siblings point blank that she's not handing Lynn over, knowing full well her own team's record would be toast if she did. One of Murong-yu's cronies steps forward, telling Suching to scram so they can take Lynn. The bystanders think Suching is playing with fire. Going up against the Murang family is a seriously bad idea. Liu quietly asks Lynn if he's actually thinking about joining them, but Suching immediately cuts in, insisting there's zero chance he'd even consider it. Murong-yu coolly reminds Suching that she doesn't speak for Lynn and suggests that maybe they should let the man make his own choice. Seizing the moment, Murong-yu makes his formal offer, dramatically introducing himself as the Knight of the Golden Divine Lion before officially inviting Lynn to join them. A system prompt to join Murong-yu's team appears for Lynn, and Suching is totally convinced he'll turn it down. But then Lynn shocks absolutely everyone by saying he's open to the idea. Suching and Liu are practically having a meltdown. Suching whips around to Lynn, demanding to know why on earth he would choose to side with their crew. Murong-yu, however, is all smiles, pleased that Lynn is making the intelligent choice. He gives a little applause and tells Lynn to go ahead and accept the invitation on his screen. Murong-yu flashes a confident smile, promising they'll smash every record together once he accepts. But in a stunning twist, Lynn declines the offer, leaving the entire crowd wondering what in the world is going through his head. Murong-shu looks absolutely livid, but her brother holds her back before she can explode. Lynn then clarifies that he is willing to join, provided they agree to his terms. Murong-shu glares at Lynn with pure disgust, snapping that they're already doing him a massive favor just by extending an invitation to their elite team. She reminds him he's just a low-level summoner and shouldn't be so ungrateful. Seeing their condescending attitude, Lynn has had enough and simply turns to walk away. Murong-yu quickly stops him, asking what exactly these terms are. Lynn turns back with a smile and says, "Don't worry, it's nothing too crazy. First, whenever they enter the Black Abyss, his orders are absolute. Second, nobody is allowed to leech his experience points. And third, all monster loot belongs to him." Murong-yu is visibly shocked, and the onlookers can't believe their ears. Lynn's demands are completely audacious. The crowd can't picture the arrogant Murong family ever taking orders from a summoner, but they also know just how badly the family needs his skills to boost their ranking. Lynn stands there confidently telling Murong-yu that if they can meet those conditions, he'll gladly join their team. Murong-yu's teammates immediately start shouting at him not to accept the ridiculous offer, insisting that Lynn is clearly just making a fool of them. Suching just laughs, telling them to have fun trying to climb the leaderboards without him. The crowd can't believe Lynn just openly mocked the Murang family to their faces. Someone in the crowd points out that since Lynn broke the record, he's a hot commodity now, so much so that even the mayor would have to show him some courtesy. Murong-yu's crew looks ready to pounce on Lynn, but their captain stops them, reminding them of their real reason for being there. Murong-yu then asks Lynn why he's wasting their time when he obviously has no intention of joining. Lynn replies that he just really hates it when powerful people try to strong-arm others. Predictably, this enrages Murong-shu, but her brother is right there to prevent her from lunging at Lynn. Murong-yu warns Lynn not to get too full of himself. That #1 spot on the Cold Valley Black Abyss ranking can be taken away just as fast as he earned it. Murong-yu delivers this with a clear tone of menace. Since Lynn has refused their offer, he declares it's time to go. Suching laughs and tells them not to let the door hit them on the way out. Murong-shu, on the other hand, is absolutely fuming over the public embarrassment and silently swears she'll make Lynn regret this day. Lynn just stretches nonchalantly and tells his teammates they need to dive back into the Black Abyss to grind to level 10. Suddenly he feels a chilling presence right behind him. He turns around to find his female teammates glaring down at him with terrifying expressions. They icily inform him that he's very lucky he turned down the Morang family's offer. Lynn sees his life flash before his eyes and quickly tries to explain himself, but the girls aren't listening. Instead, they give him a thorough thank you for making them worry so much. After they're finished roughing him up, Suching announces they should all go restock on items and regroup in a bit. With about an hour to spare, Lynn decides to wander into the woods. Thanks to defeating that unicorn earlier, he'd gained a huge chunk of experience, which was enough to bump him all the way up to level 6. Curious about the abilities of the unicorn he acquired, he decides to try summoning it. He opens a summoning gate, which explodes in a brilliant flash of bluish-white light, but when the glow subsides, nothing appears. Lynn starts to panic when his summon is a no-show. A system message pops up, "Summoning failed," prompting him to check his summon's status. Completely baffled, he pulls up the status window. The system then asks if he wants to begin hatching his summon as it's currently in an unhatched state. Lynn hits yes, and the system informs him it will take 3 full days for the unicorn to be ready. The long wait is a surprise, but realizing he has no other option, he decides to check out the other items he received. He's prompted to open his completion chest, which promises a random piece of gear. He pops it open and finds an item that looks like a letter the history record gift pack. He opens it up to find a congratulatory message and a brand new title, The Fastest Man. Lynn has absolutely no idea what to make of that. Deciding not to overthink it, he puts the title out of his mind and focuses on the rest of the pack, which promises a random, high-level Black Abyss gear material or potion. Without a second thought, he opens it. 2 new packages materialize in front of him, and he decides to check what's inside the first chest he received. He popped open the reward chest and found a full set of Keeper's armor, which was universal for any class. It offered a nice boost to his stats and even threw in a bonus of 50 experience points upon use. Lynn, thrilled with the new armor, turned his attention to a smaller box inside. When he opened it, his jaw dropped. Inside was a silver-grade necklace. It was called the Ice Necklace, and it came loaded with a ton of buffs. Lynn couldn't believe his luck scoring a silver tier piece of gear right off the bat. Apparently, gear was classified into 9 different ranks. You had your no-grade junk then: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, radiant, legendary, and finally the divine grade stuff. A wide grin spread across Lynn's face. It felt like the heavens were really smiling down on him. Brimming with excitement, he immediately equipped the new armor. The gear seamlessly melded with his body, and Lynn realized what a massive difference it made. His status screen had grown, reflecting all the new stat points, though he noted he only had 2 skill points available. Without a second thought, he decided to spend one of them. He instantly upgraded his full cover skill, jumping it from level 1 straight to level 3. This was the skill that protected his precious beast, Angui, and the upgrade made it consume less spirit power. Lynn was pleased. This would definitely speed up his dungeon clearing time. Next, Lynn focused on leveling up his slime. An option appeared offering to advance his slime by 6 whole levels at once. Lynn was stunned. The offer had 0 description, which made him super curious. He accepted anyway, a choice that instantly sliced his health points in half, but the sacrifice paid off as the slime began to transform. A blinding flash of energy erupted, forcing Lynn to shield his eyes. When the light faded and the process was complete, he was left staring in utter shock at a human-like slime standing before him. Meanwhile, Subing arrived at the entrance to the Black Abyss, ready for their next run. But Lynn was nowhere to be found. She wondered aloud where he could be, and Louis suggested she check his location on the team panel. Subing pulled up the panel and was completely bewildered to see his marker deep in the woods. "What on earth is he doing out there?" she muttered before declaring, "All right, let's go get him." Back in the forest, Lynn was still trying to process his shock, staring at the humanoid slime in front of him, who was well quite buxom. Lynn's first thought was, why isn't she wearing any clothes? But before he could even finish the thought, the slime girl leaped into his arms. She tackled him to the ground in a fit of excitement, rubbing all of her soft part against him. Lynn's face flushed bright red, but he managed to regain his composure. He got a hold of the slime, telling her, "Nope, not gonna work," and as if she could understand him. "You're not getting a rise out of me." Lynn opened his inventory and pulled out a dress for her to wear. The slime took it, and instead of putting it on, promptly absorbed it into her body. It was then that Lynn had a horrifying realization. He was dealing with a newborn slime. He couldn't believe he'd somehow become the dad to one of his summons. On the bright side, he figured that since she was in human form now, she could probably use professional gear. With that settled, Lynn decided it was time to check out the stats on his newly advanced slime. The slime had received a massive power-up. Her health had skyrocketed from 600 to 2700. Her attack power had climbed to 205, and she had 2 brand new skills, Acid Rain and Unpleasant Hug. Acid Rain was listed as an area of effect skill, while Unpleasant Hug was a single target attack. The description for Acid Rain explained that the slime could launch a piece of her body to form clouds, which would then unleash highly corrosive acid rain on a designated area for continuous damage. As for the hug, any target she grabbed would suffer ongoing damage. Lynn was seriously impressed by her new abilities and couldn't wait to see them in action. Elsewhere, Suching and Liwi were still trekking through the forest, baffled as to why he'd ventured so deep inside. They finally spotted him, and from Suching's perspective, it looked like Lynn was intimately embracing a girl. She immediately exploded, yelling, "Lynn, what do you think you're doing?" Lynn jumped startled to see them. "What are you two doing all the way out here?" he asked. Suching was incredulous. "Are you serious?" she fumed, interpreting his question as him being annoyed that they were interrupting his romantic moment. Lynn sighed, realizing she had completely misunderstood the situation again. He braced himself for what was coming next as an enraged Suching proceeded to rough him up while calling him a pervert. Only after the beatdown concluded did Suching finally learn that the girl was actually his evolved slime. Rather than apologizing for her mistake, she just blamed Lynn for not explaining things sooner. Lynn shot back that she never really gave him the chance. Lynn recalled the slime into his storage before asking them again why they were in the woods. Suching pointed out that their meeting time had long passed, and they obviously couldn't enter the Black Abyss without him. It finally dawned on Lynn that he'd lost track of time and that they were due for another run in the Black Abyss.